one of the things that we could talk a little bit about, one of the things that, obviously if you have somebody dies, then you're moving into a grief type of a situation, because you mentioned grief, people who are grieving versus depression.
Yes.
How do you differentiate between the two? And because,
it's a great question, really good question. So obviously when we lose a loved one, we're going to expect to have a grief reaction. That grief reaction we expect to be time limited in some way. It may take years to get through, so it's not going to absolutely resolve the same way in each of us, but it's an anticipated reaction to a death. And so we do expect people to go through a normal process with grief. And also generally it's time limited. The person may also be able to continue to have some hopefulness to respond to other situations in their life. If a person is really depressed, having a major depressive episode, there's not hope. You're not going to see hope to get through the situation. You're not going to see it as this temporary, time-limited transition from the loss to the future. If in a real depressive episode there is great hopelessness and despair, and it's very obvious, and it affects their whole outlook on life.
So grief relates to having hope, and there's a future.
In a nutshell, you could say that. That's one way to put it, yes. And depression can be so much more complicated. And with depression, we really want to look at not only providing psychotherapy, but also times people do need to use medication, either prescribed by their internist or by a psychiatrist. So there may be a very real biochemical process occurring, and the addition of medication with psychotherapy can get incredible results.